Welcome to The Author Show, where we present new authors and books. From fiction to self-help and everything in between, you'll find it all here. To watch the TV version of our program, visit authorswebtv.com. That's authorswebtv.com. And now, let the show begin.
Hi, this is Linda Thompson, your host for The Author Show. Self-described as an inspired writer for the chick lit genre, guest author Dee Marx joins us to share her new book. In Beyond Believing, an inspiring story to awaken the heart, her protagonist, Olivia, travels a sometimes painful journey and sometimes joyful journey from grief and loss to loving again. Dee, welcome to The Author Show.
Thank you so much, Linda. I'm really excited to be here.
Dee, please give us a quick overview of Beyond Believing, an inspiring story to awaken the heart.
Sure. So the book has been kind of my healing mechanism for some of the things that I've gone through personally in my life. But it talks about friendship, love, hope, and loss. It goes through life struggles, but it ends up on a very positive note and gives readers hope that their journey might be as positive as mine.
Did you write your book with a specific type of reader in mind?
I did. I think that the way that I write the book is very easy to resonate with for a lot of people in my age group and even younger. It talks about two main characters through the journey of their adolescence through current day, and it goes through stories and challenges in life that I think everybody can relate to.
Without getting too personal, what happened in your life that inspired you to write Beyond Believing?
Although the book is fiction, it loosely mirrors my life. I lost my best friend Dan in a fatal car accident about 22 years ago, and it really rocked me to the core of my being. I had been through the loss of grandparents, aunts, uncles, and, don't get me wrong, those were all very sad and changed me as a person, but his death really changed me forever. It makes you realize that you're not invincible and that life is fragile and can be taken from you at any moment. So it really taught me to live in the moment and to treasure the people around me. I've always been one to keep his memory alive and realize that others would appreciate experiencing the friendship that we had. So another thing that really inspired me to write this book is a few years ago, I lost my corporate job. And there's really no security in the world, in the workforce anymore. So I decided to take matters into my own hands and tell my own story. So recently, Jim Carrey gave a commencement speech that really hit home. He talked about how his dad could have been a great comedian, but he didn't think it was possible. So he took the safe choice in his life and became an accountant. And then he describes how his lesson learned from that was, if you can fail at what you don't want, why don't you go after what you do want? And so when I lost my job, it really gave me the courage to pursue this dream that I've always had about writing a book.
I understand that Beyond Believing will be a series. How many books have you have planned?
The Beyond series is going to be a trilogy. Beyond Believing comes out April 6th, 2015, in just a few weeks, followed by Beyond Love and Beyond Forever. My goal is to hopefully get the books out within 18 months to keep my readers engaged. And the reason that I created a trilogy was that I really wanted to explore the characters. So I wanted to introduce them from a young age to current day and how their lives were driven in parallel paths and how they were led together by a common thread. So it really keeps you guessing in the first book. And then in the second book, what I'll do is I will probably talk more about current day and how their relationships progress, where we are in time now.
Are your characters based on pure fiction or perhaps on people you know?
It's funny. It's a combination of both. I've done some book clubs already with some different groups of folks, a little bit pre-release. And it's always the first question that they ask me. They want to know which stories and which characters are real. And to be honest, it's a combination of both. So I've taken things that I've experienced in my life or experiences that either friends or people I know have gone through, and I've incorporated that into my characters, but I maybe put a different spin on it, or I include it in a different time frame in their life or at a different point in their journey. So it always keeps the reader guessing. Even the people that know that the characters are based on them find different things that have happened that may or may not have really happened in real life.
Is there another author you believe has influenced your writing style?
That's a great question. I've been inspired by many authors, and one of my favorite books of all time is The Alchemist. It talks about a boy's journey to find himself, and it really resonated with me, especially at the time when I read it. I was really looking for answers in my life, and it catapulted me into where I am today. So that, I like all sorts of different types of reads, but this book is really more of a beach read and a romance. So people that I follow in those genres are really Emily Giffen and Jen Lancaster. They are two of my favorites, and ironically, I've had the opportunity to meet both of them in the last year, as they're both from Chicago. Emily actually went to my rival high school, so she's always been someone that I've looked up to and modeled myself after. And Jen Lancaster is hilarious and very much reflects my sense of humor, so she's very relatable. And I would say that my book is very comparable to those two authors and how their theme is for their underlying stories. And it turns out that Jen and I actually figured out we're also sorority sisters.
What would you say is the take-home message in Beyond Believing?
I really wanted it to be, although there's some challenges in the book and some sadness because I cover some different topics, I would say that the underlying theme is really about friendship, love, and hope, that everybody goes through hard times in life, and hardships come in many forms, illnesses, things of that nature. But I think everybody will be able to relate to going through some sort of struggle in their life and having to find their way out of it. So I wanted to personally share my story about kind of getting over this grief of losing a friend at a young age and how it's kind of guided my journey through life. So I hope that it inspires people. Everyone has lost somebody that they love. So hopefully they can relate to my story and maybe the signs that their loved ones are still with them every day in life, if they just really stay open to it and listen to the different signs. And hopefully it can really help heal them from losing that special person.
If you were writing an article about Beyond Believing, what would the headline be?
Friendship at its best. When I wrote this book, I guess I realized how important friendship was to me at a very young age because I grew up on the East Coast and was uprooted and moved to Chicago. So I talk about the character's journey about, changes young in life and how that kind of reshapes who you are as a person and where that can take you and how that maybe changes the direction of how things go in your life. So it's really a fun novel about keeping in touch with the people from your past, but making new friends along the way, and the loyalty that those friendships have through the years that really get you through some tough times in your life.
Is there another book that you could compare to Beyond Believing?
It's kind of a mixture of, I don't want to say it's a paranormal or anything like that. It's not about like seeing ghosts, but it's about connecting with somebody that's no longer in the physical world. So something that I would probably compare it to would be a movie like Serendipity or Sliding Doors, where it's more about fate and how things happen, how things are no longer a coincidence, how things happen in your life outside of your control that leads you to a place you could have never imagined.
You mentioned that you had been with book clubs and so on. What kind of feedback have you gotten from readers so far?
I am delighted to say that I've gotten a very overwhelming positive response to the book. And the book clubs have been people, I would say, in their 30s and 40s who really resonated with the book originally because it starts out in the 80s. So people are like, wow, I really felt like I was reading my high school life and the music I reference and things like that. People really could relate to that. It was a time before social media and cell phones, so you had to make plans before you went out, and the people that I grew up around, we had a very different life than a very technical savvy world today. So they really appreciated the stories and how we stayed so connected after so many years.
Dee Dee, where can our listeners learn more about you, the series, and most importantly, where can we purchase Beyond Believing, an inspiring story to awaken the heart?
I have a website. It's ddmarx.com, no spaces. And on my website, I talk about the series. I have a blog there as well. I talk a little bit about what inspired the book. Right now, people can pre-order my book on Amazon. As I stated, it will be out in early April 2015. You can also purchase it through Barnes & Noble. And for anybody local in the Chicago area, it will also be offered at Anderson's Bookshop in downtown Naperville, which is one of our local bookstores that gets a lot of great authors as well. I'll be doing a book signing there in May. So check out my website. You can follow me on social media. All of my social media handles are on my website as well.
In the minute we have left, please share with our listeners one thing about Beyond Believing that's going to be an incentive for them to read it.
I think the common underlying root of the book is about faith, hope, love. And if anybody, like I said, has ever lost somebody that they love and really wants to feel connected to them, it's a very sweet, romantic, rom-com type of a book. It's got laughs, you'll have tears. But I think the overall plot is a very sweet theme, and it will continue on for 2 more books to come. So I'm trying to give readers something to look forward to.
Dee Dee, it's been a real pleasure talking with you today. Thank you so much for joining us, and thank you for sharing Beyond Believing, an inspiring story to awaken the heart with us. I'd like to invite you to come back when you release your next book.
Thank you so much, Linda. It's been an absolute pleasure, and I really hope that the readers enjoy the read.
As Dee Dee writes on her website, Beyond Believing is a sweet, funny, and romantic story that will tug at your heartstrings, keep you guessing, and remind you that there are never any coincidences. That sounds to me like a really good read. This is Linda Thompson concluding another edition of The Author Show. Please share this interview with your friends and family so that they too may have the opportunity to discover our guest and her work. And why not help spread the word on social media as well? Please join us again next time for another exciting author and another great book on The Author Show.
Thanks for listening to The Author Show. To contact us, call toll-free 1-877-955-8800. That's 877-955-8800. Or visit theauthorshow.com. That's theauthorshow.com. Tune in next time to another great author on The Author Show.